And we are back for the men's contest. John Lodge, Joey Chapman here with the call. Joey, we had a little bit of technical issues, but we're back up and running, and it's good to get this game underway.
We're ready to fly, Johnny. We're pretty fired up for game 2 of this doubleheader here. Lords taking on the Sting, which should be a good one.
As the Sting take the first point in this one. It was a interesting contest we had against the Sting in the women's match. It was a dominating first 2 sets for the Durham Lords women's team, but the Sting came back, took that 3rd set, but the Lords reasserted their dominance, took the 4th set, and won that match 3-1. It was nice to see, and now we just need the Durham Lords men to come up big and beat the Sting, and let's sweep this.
Oh, for sure, John. It was a nice, resilient effort from the ladies volleyball team in our first game, John, and I'm pretty excited for the second game. And our only other time we've got to see this men's team in action. They looked very strong taking on Loyalists, and we got a couple unranked teams here in the OCAA, and that can only lead to a fun matchup here. And these guys know each other a little bit from taking on each other right here in the CRWC when they were both here for the Adidas Cup just a month or so ago.
Yeah, so hopefully they can remember how they beat them. I believe they did beat them.
They did.
But how they beat them in the Adidas Cup and re-implement that strategy in this one. As Jansen takes a big smash there, he was a big key in the Durham Lords victory, straight sets victory last week. And it's going to be a big key again in this game. He's their big man. He has a lot of power, and he knows how to control the serve, Joey.
Oh, for sure. Jensen's a name I feel like you're going to be saying a lot, Mr. Lodge. And him and it is Harrison Wood are the 2 leaders on this team really offensively. You're going to see a lot of things as this game progresses going through those 2 men, both at the net and from the backcourt on serve.
As you know, with the serve here for Seneca, and I do apologize to the Sting and anybody watching this broadcast if I butcher your name. This is the first time I've called you guys, so you've got a lot of hard names on this team. The Lords do pick up a big point there to get back within 3. It's 5-2 for Seneca early in this one, Joey.
And Durham trying to stop the bleeding here. A 5-2 run to start this game for the Sting.
Langley with the light serve there off the top of the net and back. So not a nice look there for Langley on his first attempt in this set.
The Lords trying to go over 500 for the first time all season long, John. They lost their first 2 games of the year, but have won their last 2, defeating Loyalists right here at home. And Fleming on the 11th. This is their first game action since then.
Jansen with the big point there. He's got the serve now. Let's see if we can have a little bit of serve control and come back in this one and try and make it even.
Yeah, 6'4", 5th year for Eric Jensen. He's a real beast for this Lords team as he sends that ball way high up in the air, John. That's just good fun. Yeah, and they dug it. Seneca just dug it out. It was almost an ace. Durham does come away with a point, though, as Seneca sent it long. It's going to take me about a set to get used to all of these names, I'm going to tell you right now. Jansen set to serve again. Taking his time, gets up high. Oh, a little bit too much there by Jansen. We have the starters for the Seneca Sting are Alex Alves Faria. That's a tough one. Attaboy, Johnny.
And Vinash Juver Ajin. I do apologize if I'm butchering this. Jordan Granum, David Lazarev, Joshua Cust, Brandon Chow, and Richard Ngo. Seneca is set to serve again, and the serve was wide. Durham collects the point and the serve.
Yeah, Armstrong just watched that ball drop right in front of him. That was a good eye there from Wesley.
Pitchell's about to take his serve here. Sorry for cutting you off there.
No, it's all good, Johnny. Yeah, just a nice play there by Armstrong. Just forcing the Sting into unforced errors, and as we've seen a lot over this first month of the volleyball season, John, unforced errors are going to be the killer for both teams in this game.
We have 2 touch here, and point goes to Durham as they crawl within, should be 1, but I may be incorrect here. No, within 2, as our correct scoreboard team down there is a little bit faster than I am.
Danielle she's got her hand on the button down there at the score table, as we got a full crew down there, Johnny. They're all hard at work.
Nice save there by Pitchell. And Langley gets it over the net, unable to recuperate where the Sting, as it is now a 1-point game. Pitchell still with the serve here. Looking for a competitive matchup here. Last time the Lords were in town, they had a straight sets victory. Nice block there by Durham. Seneca is able to get it over the net. And a nice play there by Harrison Wood. Goes up like he's gonna smash it hard and just drops it down to where nobody's at.
Yeah, great play there by Harrison Wood, making his presence known here early in this set, John. As a big point there for the Lords to tie it up here at 8.
Pitchell is controlling the serve like we talked about. Deadly game if you can't control your serve. And an amazing strike there as Seneca is able to deflect it off the Durham Lords and out of bounds. Too hot to handle there.
That was an interesting looking serve there from Juvarathan.
Yeah, Juvarajan, yeah.
Juvarajan, the first time I've had to say that today, John. I've been letting you do it. That was a bit of a quick serve from Juvarathan. You haven't seen a lot of that, but he didn't jump too high. He just kind of smacked that ball right over the net, trying to catch the Lords off guard, and it worked there.
Yeah, the Lords are definitely going to be happy on their game with this one. But one thing we know about them is they have a lot of strength on this team. As we have another 2-touch call on Seneca. Sloppy play a little bit early by the Sting.
The Sting have struggled out of the gate so far, Johnny. They are 2-4 on the season. They have won 2 in a row coming into this game. They defeated Algonquin in a 5-set nail-biter on the 10th, and then defeated Lassite on the 11th. So they played back-to-back games, winning 3-1. Lassite clearly one of the bottom feeders in this division, still looking for their first win of the year. Algonquin, not the strongest club either. It should bear well for the Lords that a team they defeated in straight sets in Loyalist defeated this team 3-2 in another 5-set game. They've played a lot of 5-set matches when you look at it, John, against Loyalist, against Centennial, against George Brown, and Algonquin, all going to 5 sets. Durham hoping that it is not the case here tonight at home as they try and take on this below 500 team.
Yeah, one thing that tells you is that Seneca is definitely going to have the endurance to go all the way here. So the Lords are going to want to execute well and often. Another great block there as Jansen is exerting his dominance on the Seneca Sting team. He put one wide just before that, but collecting the point and getting the serve. Oh no, my apologies. Apparently not. Apparently it's Seneca's serve and Seneca's point. That's a strange one for me. It must have gone out of bounds.
Yeah, I didn't see that either, John. Sometimes things happen. The officials call things so quickly here, but Jensen makes up for it quickly there.
Yeah, just as I got finished talking, he got up there and began smashing that ball down, man.
Just quickly back to the 5-set point we were talking about just a minute ago, John. The only 5-set game the Lords have played all season long was a loss right here in their season opener, or in their home opener against Candor, where they lost 3-2. So obviously both teams have gone 5 sets so far, but Seneca a little more comfortable in those long endurance-like matches as they've done it so many times so far early in this season.
Yeah, man, going into overtime, that's a tough one when you're losing, or when you end up losing. So it's going to be important for, like we've said, the Lords to execute here and keep it out of that 5th overtime set. And that is what it is. It is overtime, seeing as the set point is down to 15. So
yeah, it works. We'll count it. Count it as overtime. I like it.
As we have Richard Ngo set to serve here. Once again, totally apologize if I'm screwing that up, as he kind of just screwed that serve up there, so sent it wide and gives Durham the serve back, as well as tying the match at 13s. Rory Langley set to serve here. Let's see if we can get some serve control. And the Sting let it go as the libero for the Sting. Render Dillon just looks at it and decides not to dive for it. That one was in by a lot too, so that's a strange call. Langley with the serve again as Seneca sets up. Another point here as we have a 2-touch called on the Sting, as Durham has taken a 2-point advantage. As Langley is looking to control this serve and take a larger lead.
Yeah, back-to-back unforced errors there for the Sting, and they make another one on a bit of a miscommunication there, John. And just like that, the Lords have taken a 3-point lead. 3
straight points on Langley's serve, too. So it's looking like we're getting exactly what we need here, some serve control by the Lords. Big block there, but it lands on our on the Lord's side of the net, not our side. I apologize. Getting a little bit too invested here as Seneca gets their serve back and collects a point. It's a 2-point game, 16-14 for the Durham Lords. John Lodge and Joey Chapman here. Joey, it's going to be important for the Lords to take this match if they do want to rank in the OCAA.
For sure, John. You got to beat the teams below you in the standings if you want to work your way up into the top 10. Obviously, the committee not having as much faith in these guys as they did last season. Last season, they finished 16-2 on the year. Lots of first-year players being sprinkled into the lineup for Coach George Matusaki, and lots of young players. And for the Lords to get back inside the top 10 and find themselves ranked once again, they definitely need to come out with a win here at home against a team that's below 500.
We got Big Jansen with the serve again, and unfortunately unable to control the serve as Seneca comes away with a point there. As a long rally, and those are always interesting when you see the play go back and forth. So we have a substitution here. It's the libero for the Sting checks out. Jordan Granum with the serve, and Durham takes the point as it goes out of bounds off of a Sting player. Lucas Pitchell ready to take the serve here. Pichel. I'm saying Pitchell, and apparently, according to our boss down there, it's Pichel. So I do apologize, Lucas.
I don't know. I don't never trust him to get anything right. So I thought you were right, Johnny, but maybe. He can't hear me. He's down there. He's not listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about Chris. It's okay. Nice push shot there by Tyler Krabby. Oh, great job there, Lords, just getting it over the net. Look to set it up here. Huge smash and another point there. Harrison Wood put that straight down and unable to react. We have a timeout now charged to Seneca as they look to rebound here out of their timeout. The Lords have a 19-15 lead, 4-point advantage for Durham, and they're looking good in this one again, as they did in the last match me and you called, Joey.
For sure, Johnny. You see Harrison Wood putting all a 6-5 into that spike there, just at the net. To be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised it took so long for Seneca to call their timeout. They had an early lead in this first set, and then Durham's really taken over here on serve. Pitchell, Harrison, and Jensen, as well as Langley, who is strong on the serve, and all of a sudden the Lords take the lead, and Seneca waiting till they're down by 4 to call this first time out. Obviously, head coach, I have it here, Brian Singh, looking to let his team figure it out for themselves, but they have struggled here with the Lords on serve early in this set, John. And if what the Lords need to do to be successful is just keep the pressure on here. They're a very good, big, powerful, talented team, and at home they should be able to put the pedal to the metal on this Sting defensive unit.
You've been talking about a young group, and we're used to seeing that with players, but we're not used to seeing that with a coaching staff, as the entire staff for the Sting all first year. It's very interesting as the Sting look to smash it down. Huge block there by Tyler Krabby as the Lords take another point here. And you know what? I'm going to stop listening to Chris because he just pronounced that Krabby. So I'm just going to continue with Pitchell and Krabby.
I like it. Stick true to you, Johnny, as Krabby there with an excellent play at the net. And the Lords continue their strong net front presence here. And when you have guys on the court like number 4, Tyler Krabby at 6'4", you got Eric Jensen at 6'4", and Harrison Wood at 6'5", it's a lot easier to make yourself big in front of the net and really cause some distractions and difficulties for your opponents.
And Juverigen there with a huge smash as he takes the serve. The Lords look to recover the serve here. And we have 4-touch there. 4-touch by the Lords as it's a point for the Seneca Sting. It's 20-17 for Durham. It's going to be important here to not let the Sting get back into this set. They need to get this next point here. As Juverigen sends the ball up, set up here, and a miscue there by the Lords as they are just able to get it over the net. And again, we have a call by the referee. I believe it's a net touch by the Lords. I don't know for sure, as I'm not very proficient in our rules in volleyball. I'm just going off of basic knowledge. Juverigen ready to serve again. He sends it over, and he sends it in with an ace. It's 20-19. I think, yes, just as I was about to say it, Coach Matsuzaka calls a timeout. Great time here as they've dropped 3 straight points.
Yeah, that was a bit of a miscommunication there between Armstrong and Jensen, looking at each other as that ball hits the ground right in front of them. And that's not a good ace to give up, especially one as simple as that one. It's just a miscommunication on the serve, John. And that's a very good timeout, I think, by the head coach for the Durham Lords. Getting his team to settle down here. They're still up by 1, 5 points away from taking this first set at home. But Seneca not going away lightly, and they have certainly not let the Lords run away with this first set, John.
Yeah, Juverigen is controlling his serve very well. As we said, they've taken 3 straight points all off of his hand. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Lords can turn this serve over and get back to work on offense. Juverigen set to serve here, sends it up. Set up here for, not Wood, sorry, for Krabby. And Harrison Wood, the aforementioned Wood, does send it over to an empty spot on the court for a point for the Durham Lords. It's 21-19, and Krabby's about to get his serve, and let's see if the Lords can pick up this set victory. Good serve there by Krabby. And a block out of bounds off the Lords, and it'll be 21-20.
Langley and Wood there for trying to get the double block for the Lords, John, but they got there. They were in the right spot, but as we saw so many times in the women's game, especially to a player like Johansson, ball's just hitting right off the arm and deflecting out of bounds, and there's really nothing much you can do about that. But Wood.
Harrison Wood showing what
impressive.
He's made of on that one, man.
Yeah.
Woo!
Getting way up for that and just blasting it through the hands of the defender of the Sting at the net, John.
Yeah, right off of Juverigen's hands, and it was too hot to handle for him. And it looks like we have a violation on the serve as Rory Langley looks like he came over the line before serving the ball. I'm not going to pretend to know if that's what it actually happened, but there was no other call that could be made.
Yeah, it definitely was a serve violation there. John,
Jansen with the huge smash there with the big man hands, and nobody wants to get in front of that one, I'll tell you, man. Broken thumbs abound there.
We saw that a lot against Loyalist, John, and Eric Jensen not letting up here on the Sting as he went way up for that ball and spiked it with emphasis. And broken thumbs, you say, Johnny, and I couldn't agree more with that, as Jensen gets all his strength behind that ball and hammers it down, catches the sting with something I've seen a couple times here early in this first set. They have lots of guys up almost past the first touch line, John. Only one guy in the backcourt, giving lots of room for these Lord attackers to put their spikes and find empty space. And Eric Jensen makes no mistake on that one.
No, definitely not. Jensen, like we said at the beginning of this set, is going to be key in this one, as Harrison Wood is set to take the serve here, 23-21. Let's see if Durham can take control here. That's a strange move there by Seneca. The Lords push it over, but they're going to call a lift on Durham. They're going to call a lift on, it looks like, number 16, which is Lucas Pitchell. Oh no, it's a double hit.
Either way, it's Seneca's serve here as
No is set to serve. Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to try that name there.
I gotcha.
Jensen with the huge smash again, but they're calling it out of bounds on Jensen. Strange call there, as it is a 23-all game. These next 2 points are key, as No with the serve here, soft touch, sends it right to Jensen. And Jensen puts it out again, as it's 24-23 for the Sting, and Yo is about to serve for the set.
They're really taking advantage of the serve here by Nyo, and that's back-to-back errors from Jensen.
Yeah, it's strange, and he is attacking Jensen specifically, directly. Great there, though, by Pitchell, as every time I hear Chris say it, it makes me feel worse about it, but Langley is now set to serve. It's 24-all, and we're going into extra points here. Libero makes a diving stop for the Sting as Juvurigin sends it off of a block of Durham Lords, out of bounds. It is 25-24. We have David Lazarov all the way from Russia. We have some international players playing for the Sting here today. And the referee, no, it's a reversal, tip, and it is 25-all, as the Sting had no idea what was going on, and the line judge called a tip off of the Sting. So the Lords, this set is not lost yet, as big Eric Jansen is about to get his serve on, man. Let's see if he can get some points here.
Big break there for the Lords, John.
Jensen sends it over the net. Juvurigin with the smash, but the block by the Lords. And that was called inbounds, and is 26-25. Will this set ever end, Joey?
I don't know, Johnny, but that was a very nice play by Joshua Cust. First time we've said his name all night, to send that ball across court and find some empty space pretty close to the net and give his Sting teammates the serve here, looking for the win in this first set.
Jordan Granum with the serve, and another point here, so it's 26-all. Tyler Kraby, or Krabby, however you want to pronounce it, with the point there, sending it off the Seneca player and inbounds, but still hit the floor. As we have Lucas Pitchell, and he sends it long. So it's 27-26, and Juvurigin, a dangerous service here for the set. The Lords need to be on their game, as Luke Farfad knows and is telling his teammates. Set up here for Wood, and a huge smash there. It is the 27-all game, and this is never going to end, Joey.
Langley set up Wood perfectly there, John, and Wood makes no mistake on that one, hammering it home. Tied at 27 here in this first set.
Kraby with the serve, and here I am copying Chris now. And the Lords will take the point there, as they now have the advantage, 28-27. Kraby is now going to serve for the set. Let's see if the Lords can lock this one down. This has been a long one.
Big opportunity here for the Lords, John.
Kraby with the serve. Seneca sends it over and inbounds. That is his 28 all here. Neither of these two teams are going to give up here, and this is going to go on for a while, I think, back and forth, Joey.
And what was so impressive about that was that got by the block from Harrison Wood and Langley. Both of them were right there, and Harrison Wood is not a little man at 6'5", but the Sting able to get that ball over the net and just past him here and regain the serve. And
Jansen down there cleaning up the mess he made on that diving attempt.
You get a little slippy and slidey here, going for those long balls that are right onto the floor, and Jensen going all out, the fifth-year player for this Lords team, the real veteran of this club.
Joshua Cust here with the serve, 28 to all in this super exciting first set of the match. The Lords, Harrison Wood with the huge smash, and Juvarajan with the diving attempt but unable to make contact. The Lords take a 29-28 advantage here. And we've got Wesley Armstrong from Ajax serving for the set. Light serve there, just getting it over. Big block. And the Lords take it there as Jansen and Wood came up together, blocked the ball, and Seneca was unable to get back. Durham takes the first set 30-28. Very, very good, very active first set, very competitive from both squads.
6'4" and 6'5" going up there, John, and they make no mistake getting in front of that ball. And they give the Lords a comeback victory here in this first set after looking very strong early, John. They kind of struggled on serve, gave up a lot of points in a row. They let the Sting get themselves back into the game. But right then and there, when it mattered most, their two best players come up huge with a big block, and the Lords eke out an extra points victory there in that first set.
Yeah, it was a good look there for the Lords, a good resiliency as they were able to bounce back from not only, like you said, having the lead, but giving that lead up and even being in the deficit there. So great matchup there by the Lords. Good job coming back, and hopefully they can take that motivation into the next set here and take a dominating 2-0 lead.
I think for the Lords, they're going to be happy with how they played for most of that set, Johnny, but a couple unforced errors, a couple miscommunications, a couple plays letting balls drop in front of them, a couple weird net front penalties, a couple double touches, really cost them there, and it really was the difference which allowed Seneca to get back into the game, John. And I think that it's going to be the main talking point from the Durham Lord coaching staff, who's really spending a lot of time with this club right now, heading into these remaining sets, however long this game is going to go, is just not beating yourself, making the other team make the points and making them beat you instead of the unforced errors that we've seen so far in this game.
And for all you football fans out there, we've got a good one going in Pittsburgh. Tennessee at Pittsburgh, and the Steelers with a 10-0 lead going in the first quarter there. 10 minutes remaining, so a great beginning 5 minutes for the Steelers. They're looking good, even with a mediocre Big Ben at QB. Interesting to see if they'll be able to keep this one up. But back to this matchup, I agree with you in the unforced errors and not beating yourself. That's key in any sport, but especially key in this one. You have to make sure you know where that ball is going, make sure not to be over-aggressive as well, because you can take yourself out of a game by doing that and going after balls that you just shouldn't be going after.
Oh, for sure, John. That's going to be just the key to this game, and we say it a lot. It was the key to the women's game just a little while ago in the first half of this doubleheader, John. They lost their third set just by making unforced errors and really letting the other team back into the game, as the Seneca Sting women's team is clearing out of the Durham gym now. They're heading home back to Toronto and back to another day of strike living.
Yeah, back to another thrilling day on campus. Oh, wait, not on campus. Sorry. As we have a substitution here, and one that is of some note, as Evan McMillan comes on the court, and Evan is the libero today for the for the Durham Lords, and Evan actually used to play for the Sting, so he's got a little bit of an extra investment in this one, as we talked before the game, and he wants to sweep tonight. He told me he needs to sweep tonight because we have to win this one, just for him. He wants to stick it to his old squad.
Oh, for sure, John. There's nothing better than beating your old team in your new building with your new teammates. And the gun show, Evan McMillan looking to do that here with the Lords as we're early into this second set. My sister is sitting on the couch not enjoying your Titans update. She's the only Titans fan I know, John. And she's a big Tennessee Titans fan. She's going to be screaming at the TV right now. Down 10-0, you say, to Big Ben and the Steelers. And as a Pats fan, as you are as well, Johnny, we both would love to see the Steelers lose another Thursday night football game and just fall further in the AFC.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe the Steelers are really the only team in the AFC that stand a chance at beating the Patriots and even scare me a little bit. Great service here to begin, as Wesley Armstrong has collected 3 straight points here, and the Lords have a 3-0 lead. It's good to see some service control to begin this set.
Sorry, Wesley, we don't mean to be talking football during your good service run. It's not our fault. Sometimes the AFC is just a very contentious talk.
Things happen. So juicy. As No with the serve here for the Sting, as they got their first point there on a block out of bounds by the Lords. Jansen with the huge smash. Look out for the clock as that one goes off the libero's hands, off of Grender Dillon. And man, those hands cannot be feeling good after that. I don't care how soft that ball is. He is putting so much force on it. Jansen is the man. Wood with the serve here. And the Sting look to get back in it. And they do get the point there after Juverigen sends it over, blocked and out of bounds off of the Lords.
Yeah, Langley, just a little bit of bad luck there. He made a good effort to get up on that block, but just falls out of bounds on the Sting side.
Good dig there by Evan, as Jansen gets up again, and a nice dig there by Dillon. But we've got 2 touches on the Sting as the Lords take another point and take a 3-point lead in this one, 5-2, sorry, as Rory Langley is set to serve here. He had a good service in the first set. Let's see if he can put another one together. Another huge block, but again, out of bounds off of, we'll say, Lucas Pitchell. And the Lords are going to need to, you can never judge where that deflection is going to go, but you can get your body into a position to maybe make sure that you have a better chance at getting it inbounds. As Evan picks it out, the Lords looking for the point here, and Tyler Krabby, the huge smash there, getting another point for the Lords. And big Eric Jensen is about to take the serve here. Sarnia shaking in their boots, not wanting to touch this ball.
Sarnia Sting, Seneca Sting, same thing, right?
Close
enough. Close enough.
Goodness.
I got you. It's all right. I hear you. They're both Sting.
Yeah, I went OHL there.
Yeah,
I went OHL there.
I heard it and I was like, that's different, but I like it.
Yeah, my bad.
That's all right, Johnny. That's what we're here for. 2-man crew here.
Yeah. As we have a timeout here called by the Sting. First timeout of the set. 7-3, 4-point lead for your Durham Lords. John Lodge, Joey Chapman here with the call. And interesting to see this early timeout. First early timeout we've had in any set, I think, so far tonight. And maybe a good call here by the Seneca Sting head coach.
Yeah, I don't hate this move at all, John. I talked to it in the first set. I was surprised at how long it took the Sting to call their first timeout. They were trailing most of that first set and didn't call their timeout till late. Obviously, it worked out for the Sting as they forced that into extra points. But Brian Singh, the first-year man behind the bench for the Sting, calling an early one here, down by 4 early. And Durham, to me, has just looked stronger in this second set than they did in the first one. Maybe they got their feet under them a little bit. They're a little more confident. And we continuously see them doing good things on the court. and they've jumped out to an early, solid lead here in set 2 of this best of 5.
I completely agree with you on the stronger thing, as Eric Jensen and Harrison Wood, 6'5" and 6'4". The Sting have nobody at that size, and that with the size brings strength. So I agree with you here. I think the Lords are looking way stronger than the Sting, and hopefully they can show that more. As Tyler Krabby sent it over there. Nice block there. Evan is setting it up here. Cheeky little touch and a great point there by Wesley Armstrong. And the Lords take a 5-point lead in this one on Jansen's serve.
And Armstrong continues his strong play in this second set, John. He had the early serve, nice points, and then another cheeky play there at the net to get the ball over. And a guy we didn't hear a lot from in the first game we called against Loyalist has really made his name here so far through a set and a half.
Jensen with a nice dig, and there he is again. There he is again, man. Wesley Armstrong, and he knows that we're talking about him. He's got the juice, and man, he's showing the Sting exactly how to play this game called volleyball.
Yeah, certainly making them pay here, John. And it's not all about height and size in volleyball when you have the talent, but when everything's equal, being 6'5" and having the height advantage that a lot of these Lords players have when you go down the list. There's the average height for the Lords is a good 1.5 to 3 inches taller than the Sting. And this, you can see that a lot when it comes to the net front presence and what's happening in the trenches here right at the net, where the Lords have continued dominated and have a lot of success here early. And that can be exemplified by the man serving right now, Eric Jensen, who's been a beast all game long, but just gets a little too much of that.
Very long service by Jensen. They picked up a lot of points, and he just missed the back touchline with that one. With putting so much strength on it, I was surprised he didn't send that through the wall. We had a great block, though, by Lucas Pichel just before, and I didn't want to cut you off, so I let you finish your thought there. Interesting. He put his body in a better position, as we had said, to get the block more center court, as opposed to going to the sidelines. The Lords do give up a point there on the service, as Juverajin, who has been their key player for the Sting, is at service again. Setting it up. Nice dig there. Evan McMillan with the setup. Got to get it over, and they do. The Sting looking to get a point here. Miscommunication there as they just get it over the net, and McMillan sets it up. And Tyler Krabby again with a nice play there, getting up nice and tall, smashing it down, and unable to recover was the Sting. And Pitchell is about to get his serve again. Let's see if we can get another long service here for the Durham Lords. Ooh, and he goes for the light serve and hits the front or the top of the net, bounces back in and loses service right away. Unforced errors will kill you in any sport that you play, especially this one, and that's unfortunate, Joey.
For sure, John, and that's what we keep talking about, it, right? It's the unforced errors that are killing both teams, and when you're down, like the Sting are, they can't afford to be making these unforced errors against a very good Lords team, who it's kind of surprising to me that they're not ranked just by the amount of talent and how well we've seen them play here at the CRWC, John. But when they're only 2-2 on the season, it's easy to see why the committee's decided that they don't deserve to be in the top 10. But if they continue to play strong like this, like they have their last 2 games, and kind of erase their slow start to the year, it would not surprise me at all to see them inside the top 10 in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I know that the boys down there would love to be in the top 10, be ranked, and that would just add that much more confidence to their game. We had a great dig there by Jansen, who is now once again cleaning up a mess he made on the court as the Sting, Juverajin sends it long there for a point for Durham, and that's going to be a problem. He put way too much power into that one and was way too close. Tyler Krabby with the serve here for the Lords, who have a 12-7 lead. It's 5 points advantage for your Durham Lords in the second set. The Sting set it up there. Big smash, deflected out of bounds. It'll be Sarnia's ball. As we have Brendan Chow set to serve here for Sarnia. Seneca. I said Sarnia again. My goodness. I will wake up eventually, hopefully. No coffee for me for the last 3 weeks, Joey. So.
Wait, you're striking coffee now, John? I didn't know that was possible for you, buddy.
I am getting off the coffee beans. I'm trying because I find that I have a hard time with it. Oh, Jensen gets it off the tips of his fingers here. Rare error there by Eric Jensen, and he knows it, telling his teammates, that one's on me. Evan McMillan chasing it down, unable to get a hand on it, and I don't know if it would have been possible even for Superman.
Chow taking advantage of the serve here, John. This is going to be his 4th in a row. Lords not able to take advantage of what aren't the strongest serves in the world from Cho, but they're making the errors, but not right there.
Big smash there by Harrison Wood, and he said, enough with this soft touch nonsense. I'm going to smash this ball through the floor. We have Wesley Armstrong. Wesley back at the serve. Let's see if he can get another 5 points on his serve for us here. Sarnia with the fake out, and it works as Evan McMillan unable to dig that one out, and Sarnia crawls even closer. It's a 2-point game, 13-11 for your Durham Lords, and Yo is about to serve here.
I find it interesting watching Nyo serve for the Seneca Sting team, Johnny, just because he's the smallest guy on the court by far at 5'5". He's certainly doesn't have the height or the strength that guys like Eric Jansen and Wood have, but he seems to always put the ball in a good spot and has found a way to be very competitive and very successful with his serves despite not having the height and the leverage advantage.
Nice there again by Wood, getting it deflected off the libero's hands and out of bounds for a point for the Lords. I completely agree with you. He's definitely a finesse player, Joey. So very interesting. We're used to seeing this big, powerful game out of the Lords, but that's the comeback there for Seneca, not Sarnia. I almost did it again. Yeah, and Jansen goes up big there, but sends it wide. It's a 1-point game again.
You have to be wondering if Durham's contemplating a timeout here as they've struggled these last couple minutes, John, unable to get any rallies together. As soon as they get served back, they seem to give it away.
I think if this one ends up tied, which it won't, as it is inbound again off of a deflection on an Eric Jansen smash. Someone's going to have to patent a title or trademark a title for that because it's becoming a regularity for the Lords.
Update from Pittsburgh. Marcus Mariota rushed in for a touchdown. 10-3 to score in that Thursday night Color Rush football game. But jerseys actually look pretty good. We don't have the usual one team all color, one team in just white, as we got some.
Yeah, and you don't have the Bumblebee uniform there for the Steelers.
The baby blues versus the black and golds. It's a fun game to watch.
And we have another point here for the Sting, who crawl back within 2.
As we are here.
Granum set to serve here in the CRWC. Another light serve by the Sting team. And man, oh man, very interesting. We have 2 touches here. No, a lift called by the refs here, as it's a point for Durham. And big Eric Jansen back on the serve here. Let's see what he does with this. I don't think he will stray too far away from the norm, and he's going to look to drive this one through the court.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Johnny. And I know sometimes he hits the ball a little long and a little hard, but sometimes he does serves like that that are just so hard to control.
As the Lords were able to get it over, and a great block by Lucas Pitchell. And once again, he gets it to the center of the court. He was listening to us, Joey. He has changed his body position, and he's not going for those lines anymore.
I know it's fun and it's prettier to hit it right off the touchline and just get a little bit of the ball on the line, but sometimes just slamming it down in the middle of the court right by the defenders works just as well, John. And this, as you mentioned, the Lords certainly trying to play that sort of game, taking advantage of their power and size.
As our DJ is having a little bit of fun with the Durham Lords, as they've had to clean the court for the 3rd time, gives them a little Jeopardy music. As Jansen set to serve again. Big Eric Jansen smashes the ball and inbounds there. He puts just enough on it, gets it over everybody, and gets another point. And Seneca has taken another timeout. This has been a trend here, as both coaches for the Lords have been very restrictive with their timeouts, but the Sting have been very liberal, using them very frequently.
Yeah, well, they've had to, right, John? It's sometimes when you're down, you got to try and regroup the troops and figure out what's going on. So this is the 2nd timeout here for the Sting in this set, Johnny, and it comes at a good time. They looked like they were trying to rally back a little bit. They had a little bit of momentum. Durham wasn't as sharp as they have been all game long, but a couple excellent plays by the veteran Eric Jensen have really turned this around and has really put the Lords team on his back here as they try and take a commanding 2-0 victory lead here at home and get themselves above 500 for the first time all year.
Talking about that Thursday night football game, I got a lot of people on my Twitter saying, what's up with the angle of the camera? And they're using the Skycam exclusively for this game from what I hear. So it's a very Madden-esque game.
In the football game, Johnny?
Yes, in Thursday night football.
Huh. It was a fun look when the Pats were playing I believe it was the Falcons. It was the Falcons at home where they had to go to the Skycam. It's an interesting look. It's kind of fun. It's very different than what you get to see normally. And
it's a great dig there by Evan McMillan, but it hit the guns and not the hands, so it kind of didn't go up in the air, and that's one area where those pipes are not going to be an advantage. As Seneca, I did it again. I'm going to get a message from the Sting saying thanks for all the plugs from the OHL team and not the OCAA team. They're not going to be too happy with me screwing up their name. As Juverigen, again with the serve. Juverigen has easily been the key player for the Sting in this one, and maybe I'll just stick to calling him the Sting because that way I can't screw it up.
Hey, they're both Stings. I get it. They start with an S. They're both Stings. And I haven't seen a Sarnia Sting game in a very long time.
That's because Steven Stamkos has been drafted for a long time.
I know. I'm trying to think who's the last big player for the Sting. I guess it was Stamkos when Matty Martin was riding shotgun with him.
And Durham calls their first timeout as Sarnia has come back. Seneca has, I'm going to just call him the Sting. The Sting have come back to within 1 point here, forcing Coach Matsuzaka to take his first timeout and recalculate how they're going to attack this team. The Sting are being very much a finesse team, as we're looking at quite the brawl here from the Coyotes and Canadiens game, as Delorier just destroyed. Who was he against in that one? Zach Ronaldo. Holy goodness. He's wondering what was the number of that truck that just hit me and hit me more than once.
It couldn't happen to a better guy to see his face punched in like that, Johnny. Zach Ronaldo has been he's been a pain in the ass around the NHL for years. I honestly had no idea he was a Phoenix Coyote, but I guess
they've got
2
12
and 12
losses
on the year. I was looking at it on the paper today. Struggling to get points. I guess you'll take whatever you can get, but when your tough guy gets beat up there, it's not a good look for your team.
The Sting have just tied this one up, and man, they are taking advantage of Juverigen's serves, as I'm going to say a majority of their points have come off of his serves, Joey. Very interesting because, like you said, it's the tale of two different teams. There's not a lot of power coming from the Sting, and there's an overabundance of power coming from the Lords. Great dig there by David Lazarov out of Russia, but unfortunately for them, and fortunately for us in the Lords, it comes out on Durham's side as a 20-19 point advantage, and McMillan checks out of the game. Excuse me, sorry, lost my voice there for a second.
As coming in here is Aaron Banga for the Lords, Johnny. Coming in to serve. And they could really use a good run here, as they looked like they had this set almost on lockdown and have let the Sting come back in here. And that's the last thing they need. Only up 1-0 is to allow the Sting to come back and get and even this game up. And yeah, Banga's going to really try and put this away here for the Lords. Sorry, Johnny.
Strange there as the libero for the Sting and David Lazarov look at each other like, you get it, no, I'll take it. And neither of them moved, and it lands inbounds on the light serve. I'm thinking Coach Matsuzaka is taking a page out of the Sting's book here, putting in Aaron Banga, who is doing the light service thing himself. Joshua Cust is about to take the service here as the Sting were able to gather a point there. Set up to Harrison Wood, and he smashes it down yet again. 23-20 for your Durham Lords, looking to take the stranglehold, step on the neck of the Sting here, and take a commanding 2-0 victory, or lead, sorry, as Krabby is about to serve the ball here. Krabby also with the light serve. A great attempt there by McMillan, but unfortunately unable to make any contact, as the Sting are back within 2. And Brendan Chow set to serve here.
And Chow came in and had a good run at serve when he checked into the game, John. Durham certainly hoping to reverse that fortune there, but a misplay as they don't set anything up, and that ball just goes over. And Seneca takes advantage of that weak over by the Lords. And just like in the first set where it finished 30-28, John, I smell extra points.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like you said about the full games of 5 or 3-2 games going to the overtime period. If they go to the overtime period and go to extra points and everyone, this is going to be a tired group on both sides. Great block there with the combo of Wood and Jensen, the Twin Towers. No, I'm sorry about the poor pun there, but man, these guys are huge, and they take the set here, a commanding 2-0 lead, and look for the sweep again. Man, these guys are exciting to call, especially if they sweep every matchup we're calling, Joey.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch this team play, John. I don't think they're going to be overly thrilled with their performance in that set despite the win. They really allowed Seneca to come back in that game and made it a lot tighter than it should have been. And
our colleague, Zach, was just busted again at the snacks table. I wonder what he's up to, Joey.
I think he's just making orders for later. It'd be nice if they took care of the broadcast crew hanging out up here, but nobody's thinking about us. And Zach just keeps wandering back and forth to the stand.
Must be nice to not have to do your job and go to the snack table.
Hey, he is the crack man on your Twitter sphere. If you're looking at a Durham Lords tweet from today, Zach attacks the man who put it out. And,
I just busted him.
He doesn't always slack.
No, you know what? He keeps this machine moving, especially when Chris isn't around. He's the man to see. There's a reason, like you said, he got that job with MLS&E, or that internship with MLS&E. So we nothing but love for our man Zach down there.
Nothing but love for Zach. Give us tickets, whatever you could do. I know you haven't even started yet. You're a respective intern, but we're going to rally for tickets here.
Slide me that media pass. I'll take it.
Yeah, anytime. As the Leafs and the Devils on your update from your another out-of-town scoreboard update here, Johnny. Scoreless through 40. Toronto's getting outshot 20-10, or 20-16, excuse me.
Just as I said, the high-powered offense of the New Jersey Devils. We've got a 0-0 game through 2 periods. Excitement abound.
not the most exciting. Kristen Schulten having a little fun with it on Twitter. Only 4 shots in the second for the Leafs, 10 for the Devils. As I imagine it's a bit of an old school Devils hockey game. And I believe they're in New Jersey tonight for this game. But I've been wrong before.
No, they are in town.
Oh, they're at home?
I did get the update offering me late tickets available.
They are at
but
home.
I am not a millionaire. I cannot go to see home games for the Toronto Maple Leafs unless our boy Zach hooks me up.
Maybe one day. That's the key. 12:56 remaining in that hockey game. Elsewhere around the NHL, John, as we're going to spin you around here. Carolina up 4-3 on the Islanders. 15 minutes left in that one. Montreal continues their struggles as they're tied after 20 with the Coyotes. Pittsburgh leads the Sens 1-0, and Tampa Bay up 3-1. Shocking, Tampa Bay leading a hockey game over the Stars, while Nashville leads the Minnesota Wild 1-0, and the Winnipeg Jets trailed the Philadelphia Flyers 2-0. A busy night in the NHL as we're going to keep going here, John. Washington trails Colorado 1-0, and Edmonton and St. Louis tied at zeros just 3 minutes into that game.
Underway, both those contests, Colorado, Washington, Edmonton, and St. Louis.
I'm Joey Chapman with your NHL update. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update. As the Sting start out the third set here with, of course, Brendan Chow at the service, and he gets his, again, another point on his service. It's very interesting for the Lords. Cheeky move there by Wood. People expect him to smash it, and he just bumps it up. Took the Sting by surprise, but they were able to recover. They sent it over, but unfortunately, for them, it was wide. Fortunately for us. So it's 1-1 here. Now serving for the Lords is Big Harrison Wood. Let's see what he can do with this. Line drive straight at Seneca's number 12. A great dig there as Jansen puts it up, but long. He got too much on it and got underneath it a little bit. I think he knew as soon as it left his hand that that one was going to be no good. Yeah, that was a bit of a scramble play by the Lords there, John. They tried to set up Jansen for the spike, but he probably would have been better just to send that ball softly over. And another unforced error for the Lords, but Jansen trying to make up for it there, but he gets blocked on the big time. And Durham continuing to fight for these balls, John, as they win a good rally there. And that's just good hard work, forcing the Seneca Sting team to rally, but unable to do so there. We have Rory Langley set to take the serve here. Langley was dominant in the first set on the serve. And a great move there, as all Nyo could do was put his hands up to block his face, as Big Eric Jansen sent the ball almost through his forearms. That's just not fair, John. You got 5'5", taking a ball from 6'5", and that's just a matchup you're not going to win if you're Nyo. It's Godzilla, oh my goodness. It's tough. That was a monster coming after Nyo on that one, as the Lords Langley is taking advantage of his service yet again, collecting 2 straight points here, or 3 straight points, pardon me. Langley sets it up. And the Sting, Juverajin looks to smash it past Evan McMillan. Evan doing his best to get his hands on it. He did, but it went way out of bounds over our score table. I do not know how they're not more worried about those speaker towers. It's not our money. They stopped bringing the big Bose sound system we had early in the season, John, so maybe our DJ's got his whole full setup. I'm not quite sure, but the music has been bumping. Yeah, it's been great. Wellness Recreation Center. I don't know who the joke was controlling the music before this guy, but oh, it was you. That's right. I'm sorry. I only did one basketball. Oh no, I did a volleyball game too. Shoot, John. Shoot. That's what you said. Anyway, getting back to the game, I just had to throw a little dig your way. It's okay. Like we've said before, your music taste is probably way better than mine. As the Sting looked to dig that one out and send it over. Great dig there as Jansen sets it up. A nice little touch. A nice rally here we have going. Jansen Sets it up. And great point there by Tyler Kraby as he smashes it off the sting and down off them out of bounds. 6-3 for your Durham Lords in this third set as they have a commanding 2-0 lead.
And Kraby just victimizing Crust there, who did all he could to get up in front of that ball. But hard play at the net by Kraby and this Lords team, really moving the ball east to west and not being predictable on where they're trying to set their spikes from.
Once again, it's Juverigen getting the point for the Sting. Man, this guy is all over the court no matter which position he's playing. He's making an impact. And I'm going to say it's about the only player making an impact, except for on service with Nyo and with Chow. But you need more than 3 players to win a volleyball game. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. Just as I say that, the Sting collect another point to come within 1 of the Durham Lords. It's 6-5. I'm John Lodge and Joey Chapman here with the call. We're looking to have an early night. We want straight sets here, don't we, Joey?
Yeah, that'd be nice, Johnny. You know, it's just one of those games where for the Lords, they really should take this third set. They've been the better team. Watching them just in a set and 2 sets and a bit here, they're clearly the more talented team. And if for some reason Seneca found a way to push this to 4 sets, I think it would be a real disappointment for this Lords team, especially at home, and as well as they've been playing at spurts during this game. They just really haven't been able to put it together for a full set, as Seneca's made it close in both the first and the second.
Jansen with the huge smash there off the top of the net and a great block. Setting it up here for the big man. Oh, looking for the cheeky touch, but unable to get anything on it was Tyler Kraby as the Sting crawl back within 1 point. 7-6 for the Durham Lords, and Juverigen again at the service. This is going to be important for the Lords to get him off the line as soon as possible. Setting it up for Big Harrison Wood, but no, Kraby takes it off the face of the libero, Brander Dillon. And that, just as I said it, they got him off the line, and they've got Kraby now ready to take the serve. 8-6 for the Durham Lords.
Yeah, they caught a bit of a break there with that serve hitting the net and then slowly coming over.
But Tyler Kraby with the poor service there, directly in the middle.
Advantage. Yeah, they're just, that's just what I was saying about a minute ago, John. Through spurts in this game, Durham has been dominant, but they haven't been able to really step on the throats of this Sting's team and really make them pay for the mistakes, as they've made a bunch of their own, as that ball goes right through the hands of Kraby. And the Lords are tied up here in this third set.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because, like you said, 4 sets here. That's just disappointing with how much they've dominated the game. The cheeky little touch there by Rory Langley trying to get it, and unfortunately, this isn't hacky sack. You can't stall the ball, so it's a point there for the Sting as they take their first lead in this set. As 9-8 for the Sting. I think that Coach Matsuzaka needs to call a timeout here soon if this trend continues.
Yeah, I feel like he's very close to calling one here, John. Sting have taken their first lead since way back in the first set when they had a chance to win. And right on cue, as you mentioned, John, there's the timeout for the Lords. And a much needed one here, as they have really struggled these last 5-6 points or so, and they've given up the lead to the Sting. And first time in both games, John, from the women's game and the men's game, that the Lords have had to be the first one to call a timeout in a set.
Yeah, that's got to be concerning for Coach Matsuzaka as he's trying to get his team's minds back into this game. Down, stuck 2 points, 10-8 for Seneca. Seneca, I said that right.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I'm questioning myself every time I say something now. Just want to call that hockey with you. That's what it is. It's going to be interesting to see what the play is going to be like coming out of the timeout. Unfortunately, we do not have the coach mic'd up, so we can't hear what he's saying. This is not the NFL. This is the OCAA.
Yeah, Matiaka clearly not happy with his team. Barely says a word with him during that intermission there, John. And we keep mentioning Lazara all game long, really. You've mentioned him almost every play for the Sting. And I guess when you look at the stats, it shouldn't be surprising. He leads his team with 107 points so far this season through only
huge unforced error there.
Excuse me, 5 games.
And just as we're giving him a lot of props there, Lazarev makes a big unforced error and sends it into his own net on what would be an easy sort of return. Juvarajan right off of McMillan, once again hitting him high in the biceps and not in the hands or forearm region for that bump. And unable to get underneath it, deflects right off of him, goes out of bounds. Chow with the serve here. And again, so they're attacking the libero. They're attacking McMillan here. They know that he doesn't have the mobility of the other players just simply because the wingspan can't be able to get around with those guns, man.
They're weighing him down, and well, they know him too, Johnny. You mentioned you talked to him before the game. He's taken on his old team. They know his weaknesses. They know his strengths. And for McMillan, that's a couple times in a row where he's been on the receiving end of an unforced error. And luckily there for him and his teammates, Durham is back on serve. A nice play there by the Lords off of that rally.
Yeah, that was a nice rally, but you got to give the Sting props. It looked like there was going to be no way they were going to be able to get that back over. But great reaction by Nyo, and he gets it over. It's the Sting once again. They have a 3-point lead in this one as the libero just pops it over and gets it on the touchline. And Nyo with the serve. Nyo with the light touch right to Jansen. Oh, and a nice move there by Rory Langley. It looked like he was going to set up Jansen for the smash, and instead he just touches it over and gets it into no man's land and gets service back here as he himself is about to serve the ball. Let's see if we can get some control here. McMillan with the dig as the Lords have to get it over, and they do. Juvarajan with the smash again, and unable to get at that one was Wesley Armstrong, as that was put in no man's land as well. No one anywhere near that play, and Armstrong had to make a dive and attempt to get it, as we have Lazarov with the serve, and he hammers it right at McMillan. The referees call a 2-touch there by the Sting, and it's no longer Lazarev's serve as the Lords collect a point here, and Big Eric Jensen is coming up, and this is where the Lords need to hang on to serve and dominate here. He has to make sure he doesn't put too much power into it, but just enough so that maybe they can collect a point here.
Yeah, big opportunity for the Lords to regain the lead here, down by 2.
Oh, unfair call in my eyes by the line judge, as out of bounds on the corner, and he put too much on it, I guess, and was unable to keep it in bounds by the line judge's eye anyway.
Yeah, just missed the back left, right corner of the court from his viewpoint, and that's too bad for Jensen and this Lords team, as they quickly have found themselves down by 4.
We might see Coach Matsuyaka call another timeout here, as the Lords have been unable to climb back in this third set here. 16-12 for the Sting. And just as I say that, we've got Tyler Kraby coming up and smashing it off the fingertips of a Sting player out of bounds, and looking to climb back in this one is Lucas Pichel with the serve here. Maybe go a little less power and a little bit more finesse.
Yeah, the unforced errors for the Lords have to stop if they want to get themselves back into this set, John. Serves have to be in. They have to make sure they get the ball over safely and make the Sting make the mistakes as they did early in the match.
The Lords look to get it over here, sending it. It was off the top of the net. net violation, I guess. And it's once again Seneca's ball as Juverijan is once again at the serve. And this is a dangerous man here. Oh, and an unforced error again by Wesley Armstrong. And he was unable to get under that one, Joey. Just a bad play.
Yeah, Coach not going to be happy with that. We haven't seen a lot of emotion coming from head coach George Matsuoka for the Lords. But I have a feeling we could see him blow a gasket here if this unforced error-beaten weak play continues for the Lords, as they've really struggled here in this third set to find an answer for the Sting.
Tyler Kraby with the nice smash there gets the Lords back within 4. And just as we had said that Wesley Armstrong has been taken off the court, in place of him is Aaron Banga. We'll see, I believe his service may be coming up, so that might be why the substitution happened. McMillan with the great dig, but unable to keep it towards his team. And the Sting take a 5-point advantage, 19-14. And it looks, at this point, it looks anyway, like we may be heading to a 4th set.
Yeah, this is a real opportunity for the Lords to show some character and rally back. Wood comes into the game and makes his presence known there, John, with a nice hard spike. But this is a real opportunity for the Lords, John. They're down by 4 now at home, a chance to close out a rival school in Seneca. They're up 2-0. They really need to put their pedal to the metal here and find a way to rally back. They have the talent, but can they do it? And plays like that are going to make it awfully tough.
Attacks Banga and smashes it right at him, unable to get underneath it, and it's 20-15. And we've got Chow with the ball. We've got 2 very dangerous servers coming up here. And again, light serve. Finesse is the way to go in this one, as Coach Matsuoka is got a little bit more emotion. He doesn't want to talk to him. He's telling his assistants, get these guys' heads straight, man.
Yeah, this has been a tough third set, John. They played very well in that first set. I know it was tough. The first set they went to extra points. It was 30-25. In this second set, it was, or to 28, excuse me. In the second set, it was 25-23, just squeaking out a win. But the Lords had kind of been in control all game long. They've been playing with the lead. Seneca was really the team having to fight back and get involved in the game. Now the roles have reversed here in this third set, where the Sting have really taken it to the Lords, not quitting, and Durham hasn't had a lot of answers, and when they haven't been able to sustain any offensive pressure with the unforced errors and the missed serves, and have really allowed Seneca right back into the set. And if they can win this set, all of a sudden it's 2-1 and anything can happen. And I know you were calling for a straight set victory here for the Lords.
Yeah, it's looking Seneca, less and less likely.
Yeah, Seneca not on the same page as you, Mr. Lodge, as they have rallied hard here. But Durham puts all their starters in. They got Wood and Jensen. They got their big boys in the lineup now, and they're going to try and rally back. And that's a good start.
And you know what? I was just going to say, these last 6 or 7 points are attempts at points. The Lords have gone away from Jensen, almost as if to get the attention on some other players and free Jensen up a little bit. It's time to go back to the big man and let that big man do his job. Speaking of big men, Wood with the serve. And again, the unforced error. Wood just can't seem to get that serve over the net. Every time he's come up, he's banged it into the net, Joey.
Yeah, and he took a lot off that, it looked like, John. He tried to just float that over, but maybe took too much off it there. As this is getting real interesting. And Jensen just not able to get around the post there, John. And all of a sudden, the Lords down by 7.
23-16, and dangerous server Richard Yo with the ball in his hands, looking to end this and bring his team back within a 1-set deficit. Lucas Pitchell with the strong smash there into Joshua Cuff's hands, unable to control it, sends it out of bounds, 23-17. The Lords looking to climb back into this one some way, somehow. As they get another point there on a two-touch, and it's 23-18. If they could take advantage of Rory Langley's serve here, they might actually be able to climb back into this one, but that's looking too far ahead. We got to go point by point right now.
Yeah, the Exbridge, Ontario native just trying to go one by one, as you mentioned, John. Seneca's in a real tough position here, just having to get this ball over.
And Tyler Kraby again, and the Lords force Seneca to take the timeout. It is 23-19 as the Lords climb within 4 points of the Sting. Going to be key here for them to play a tighter defensive matchup and not dive around so much, not be too flashy, just play solid volleyball.
Yeah, John, it's kind of surprising to me that Seneca still has both their timeouts.
Had both their timeouts.
Had both their timeouts after this one. As that just shows how much better their coaching staff and staff they played in this third set. And sometimes, John, when you're down by 2, you don't feel the pressure to win as much. You feel a little looser. You just go out there and play. You're not as worried about stats and what's going on. And maybe that's what's happening here for the Sting. And I think it was a real good timeout from the Sting coaching staff, the first-year crew, as Durham looked to have a little bit of momentum going, and they just call the timeout, get everybody relaxed, see if they can get everything settled up, and see if Langley can continue here on serve for the Lords.
It's a key moment here for the Durham Lords as they look to set up Kraby. Sarnia looks to get it back over. Juvarajan attacks Banga again, and they seem to, or they think they have found the weak link in the Lord's armor, which just might be Aaron Banga, and he's been attacked a few times by Juvarajan.
Yeah, Juvarajan, I don't care who he's going after there. That was an excellent shot over the net, and it would, Banga has struggled, but that would have been tough for anybody to get that. That was an excellent play by the Sting.
Got to get it over here. Good job by the Lords getting it over there. As Juvarajan again, Evan McMillan sets up. Jensen with the cheeky touch. It's 24-20, and Jensen with the serve.
Yeah, takes advantage of a bit of a miss pass there by McMillan, a bit of a faltered volley, but Jensen just taps that over, and now
looks to
they need
keep
to win.
The serve
They
in
need
bounds.
to win all these points here, John. If they lose a point, they'll lose this set.
Good job there by Lucas Pitchell, going up and collecting that point. And Jansen knows this, and I think we're going to see a change in his style just a little bit here. Change it up, not sending it too strong, because he knows that that's the end of the set if he does.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the set on an unforced error, John. You want to make them beat you for sure. But
strong serve there by Jensen as Juvarajan, and it hit the referee in the top of the head, I think. But no matter, that is the set for the Sting as they take a single set here. It's 2-1 for your Durham Lords, and we're going to go to a fourth set again. Interesting here, as this has to be a little bit disappointing for the Durham Lords, as they did have the advantage here, and having a 2 sets to none lead, did have the stranglehold. They cannot let the Sting team back into it. They need to come out here strong in this fourth set, Joey.
Oh, for sure, John, and they're going to be disappointed with how they played in that second set, letting the lead go, and all of a sudden we're down here to 4. But the good news is you're still up at 2 sets to 1. You got lots of time. You're at home. You're going to be given every opportunity to come away with a victory here. What they need to do, I think, is just limit the unforced errors. That's really the key to any volleyball match, is just limit the unforced errors. But also be more aggressive. I think we saw them kind of sit back a little bit. I know you've been talking a lot about how the Seneca's playing a little bit lighter, a little bit more of a finesse game. That's not the Durham game at all. They're big, they're strong, they're powerful. They attack at the nets, and I would expect to see a lot of Harrison Wood and Eric Jensen slamming this ball down and driving it down the throats of the Seneca Sting and just using their God-given talents, their size and their strength against them, and really taking control of this set and this match. And we didn't see a lot of that in this third set, John. There was a little bit more of finesse game played, and for the Lords, I think they just need to get back to their bread and butter, which is a bump, set, spike sort of game, and really make this Seneca Sting team be more aggressive to beat them.
You got most of that right, but I think I've been calling them Sarnia.
Yeah, that's all right.
Anyway, for your out-of-town update again, the Leafs have now gone to overtime. It's a double shutout right now. It's 0-0, a thriller at the ACC.
Yeah, that's
a little bit of sarcasm for you.
A 3-0 or a 0-0 game, and I don't think the shots were very high. As well, New Jersey finished with 34 shots. The Leafs have struggled to put up offense really for the first time since Austin Matthews has come out of the lineup.
Yeah, they're missing those 5 to 8 shots he gets a night.
For sure, yeah.
You add those to their total, and they're respectable. They'd be in the 30s for their shot total. But once you take a key piece like that out of the lineup, it's going to be real difficult to bounce back.
Yeah, he's the straw that stirs the drink, Johnny, and you can't replace a player like 34. It's like trying to replace 97 or 87 or 65. Guys like that who, they're just, the game revolves around them. And it's going to be really tough for the Maple Leafs to continue their winning ways without Austin Matthews. But taking a point here in this one at least, as we will keep you updated if you're not watching the game on your TV while listening to us. Obviously you have the game on mute and us way up on the volume. That is the only way to watch Durham Lords volleyball.
100%. They gotta have. You can listen to us and watch them. It's
right
totally
here
fine.
On the Durham Lords YouTube network.
So we're get set here for the the fourth set of this match. The Lords have the service. And Sarnia takes that first point. Not a good look for the Lords, as they need to come out and dominate this one for sure.
A little too easy for the Lords there, as we have a final in Jersey. The Devils, oh, excuse me, that's not a final, that's a shot.
Big smash there. And we have a switch actually at libero for the Lords, as number 3, Luke Farfad, has come in as the libero, and McMillan has taken off the green jersey.
That doesn't surprise me very much, John. We saw McMillan struggle a little bit on service returns. We saw him getting picked on a little bit by this Sting team, and it doesn't surprise me at all that coach is going to make a change and see if he can get someone else going here. And back to what worked for the Lords in the first and second sets, having Farfad as the libero.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting here to see if the Lords can come in. It's Jansen with the huge smash there, and takes the, or sorry, not takes the lead, ties this game 2-2. It's definitely going to be a key to be able to have a more mobile libero. It's good to see McMillan get in this match, but maybe they were keying in too much on him. Whether that was because there's their ex-teammate or not, I don't know. They were definitely keying in on him hard. It's Jansen again with that huge smash, and Seneca with Juverajin. Oh, bad play there by the Lords as it's deflected out of bounds. The Lords are going to need to be aggressive in this one, Joey, and I'm not seeing that so far.
Yeah, it's been a tough third or fourth set beginning here for the Lords, as Seneca really seems to have found their confidence after that third set victory. They got their feet under them. They're playing with a little more conviction. They're a little more confident, it looks like. They know what they want to do with the ball, and they're able to do it right now. But Durham tries to recover, and there's no one they'd rather be serving than this man right here.
Yeah, big Eric Jensen again with the serve. And he's going to be key for the Lords, as again, a error by Durham as they deflect it out of bounds. Unfortunately, these unforced errors may be the thing that bring the Sting back into this contest. Javerijan with the serve goes straight at Wesley Armstrong, and a huge smash, but way too strong, and it goes out of bounds. 5-3 for the Sting. This is going to be a dangerous game the Lords are playing, as we are still in overtime in Toronto if you are interested. Jansen with the huge smash, and out of bounds. It's Lords ball, 5-4, 1-point game here, as we have Lucas Pitchell with the service. The Lords are looking to take advantage of their service here, as one of their big men, or one of their most consistent servers, is behind the line. Javerijan smashes it into the net, bounce back, and it is a tie game here, 5-5 early in the fourth set. Pitchell with the serve. Nice slow speed serve there. And the Lords collect another point.
On a throw there, Johnny.
On a throw. This is not basketball. There are no free throws here.
No, you can't throw the ball over the net either. You gotta make sure you volley it, bump it, or spike it. And that's a tough play there for the Sting. Durham's got themselves right back in this game.
Huge block there by Tyler Grady, as Durham has definitely got themselves back in this one, Joey. It's a 2-point advantage after being stuck early in this one.
Yeah, it looks like the confidence bug has hit them a little bit here, John. They seem to be a little more confident. We see a little bit of emotion coming from this Lords backcourt as they try and rally and finish this off. They do not want to go to a fifth set.
A huge smash there by Harrison Wood, as the Lords are now being that aggressive team that we said they need to be, forcing the Sting to take a timeout. It's 8-5 for your Durham Lords, and it's still 0-0 in Toronto, but scary moments here as the Devils are on the power play in overtime. That's one of the worst times to give up a penalty.
Yeah, it's not a fun time right now if you're a Maple Leaf penalty killer. I assume you're going to see lots of Zaitsev and Riley out there.
Normally you see Hainsey out on the power play.
He's not playing 3-on-3.
I was just going to say, I don't think he's fast enough to play 3-on-3. You're definitely going to see a lot of Zaitsev and Riley, the more fleet of foot defensemen, on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
As they, I know this is the not the Maple Leaf broadcast, but they had 3D out there for a while, but the Maple Leafs look to have killed that penalty. And
we've got Hainsey out there now. It's 4-on-4 till the next whistle because the penalty's over. Interesting. We haven't had 4-on-4 overtime in quite some time.
No, it's the 3-on-3 overtime is fun. The OUA, excuse me, has adopted the direct to 3-on-3 just like the NHL this season. Last season they had the 4-on-4 for 5 minutes, then 3-on-3 if necessary, but they changed that with the NHL, and we saw Megan Johnson just last weekend go down and win it in that 3-on-3 overtime for her first OUA goal, and to give the Ridgebacks a big win at home.
The Lords are definitely taking advantage of Lucas Pitchell's serve, as he has scored, or has collected multiple points on his service here, at least 5. Another point here, as the Lords were down when Pitchell took the ball, but they now have a 5-point advantage, 10-5 for your Durham Lords, and a great job, Joey, by the big men of the Lords, going up real high and forcing the Sting to try and get it over top of them, and in that way, they're put it too strong. Once again, the big men for the Lords getting involved, setting it up for Wood, but no, Krabby with the cheeky little touch here, and Javerijan. Big smash there. Unable to get underneath it was Jensen. once again needing the towel. I guess once you get to 4 sets and you go to extra points in the first one, you get a little bit of sweat working, eh?
Yeah, he's working hard out here, John. He's diving all over the place. The 5th-year man for this Durham Lords team, leaving it all out on the court, figuratively and literally, as it's not the first time he's had to clean up after himself out there.
He's a custodian and a volleyball player, apparently.
That double touch there on the Lords, John, is...
I get confused at those double touches because I'm not looking closely enough, I guess, at it. I don't know how it's a double touch, but it must be that the hands were not level and they touched the ball at a different time. And a smash there by Harrison Wood, as he almost makes me lose my voice, Joey, with that big, strong smash.
I thought we were getting the first voice crack of the night, Johnny, but Harrison Wood. And I talked about this heading into this set, John. It's just the aggressiveness needed by the Durham Lords, and that was sort of missing. Harrison Wood was not a big factor in that 3rd set, but he certainly was and has been in this 4th one, as he's been a big part of this offensive attack by the Lords at the net, using all of 6'5", the biggest man on the court for either team. And he's really made his presence known here. Final in Toronto, William Nylander has given the Maple Leafs a 1-0 victory over the New Jersey Devils.
Where do you see that?
It popped up and then it disappeared. So maybe it didn't happen, but it did happen.
Maybe it happened after. I'm seeing nothing at this point, but I'll take it if he did.
It popped up on the screen. It said Willie Nylander, and his beautiful blonde hair appeared, but maybe they lied to me. And I lied to you, apparently. So I apologize.
And another point here for the Lords as they take a 12-9 advantage. Wesley Armstrong with the service. I'm getting the update as well that the Leafs have won, but I don't know if that was as inaccurate as your view on it.
I trust Kristen Chilton. She says the Maple Leafs won it with 2.2 left on the clock, and that gives the Maple Leafs their 5th straight victory.
As Willie Nylander gets out of those goal woes, it's first for him in 12 games. Thank you for that, Kristen Chilton. We will definitely trust you. Jansen with a huge smash, inbounds, and on top of that, as the Lords take a 13-10 lead here, looking to take advantage. Here comes Harrison Wood with the service.
So what's going to be important here, John, for the Lords is to keep this pressure up and not let up here, and that's a good start for that as Wood takes advantage of a misplay there.
Attacking the libero.
Yeah, and just keep being aggressive, keep attacking. Don't let up here and don't let the Sting play the finesse game that they want to play. Just keep being aggressive, keep being powerful, and keep putting them on their heels.
The one service Wood gets over the net, they get a point. The very next one, right back into the top of the net. Harrison Wood must be frustrated with himself. As Lazarov set to serve here for the Sting, the man out of Russia. Jansen with the smash, inbounds. And if I were the Sting, I might question that one as the line judge's head was turned the wrong way. I don't know how she's seen that one inbounds.
It's tough to make a call when you're not looking at it, John, that's for sure. But the Lords will take it.
We will take it, that's for sure, yes. As Juvarajev with the smash, and Jensen again showing him what he's made of. 4 touches, or sorry, a throw. My apologies, as the Lords look to take a commanding lead in this one. Rory Langley is set to serve at 16-11. It is a 5-point lead for the Durham Lords, their biggest lead of this set. And make that a 6-point lead as things seem to be unraveling for the Sting, Joey.
Yeah, Durham taking advantage here, really putting the pressure on, not letting the Sting team relax. They're keeping the pressure, they're attacking strong, and the Sting team, valiant effort in the 3rd set to win it, but maybe right now the Lords look to be a little too much as they have found their groove here again in this match. As the Lords look to gain another point here, Big Eric Jansen
smashes it down, 18-11. I smell a timeout coming up here.
And you are correct, Mr. Lodge, as the Sting call their second timeout here in this fourth set. Durham up by 7 now, and they continue to be impressive on the attack, John. And what I really like about this game for the Lords, especially this set, is just the way they've been able to recover and rebound and not let the Sting get back into it. It was a very, it wasn't the strongest third set from the Lords, far from it. We saw them sitting back a lot, almost waiting for the Sting to make the mistakes instead of forcing the Sting into making their mistakes like they've been doing now. And for Durham, only 7 points away from a victory here, their third in a row. And for them in this next few minutes, the little details are going to be key. Do not make the unforced errors that allow the Sting to come back into this game. Just play a clean game and keep being aggressive, but be smart about it. And they should be able to wrap this thing up with a 7-point lead. But that's the funny thing about sports, John. You never know until it's over.
The Lords looking for the huge block there, but dug out by the Sting as Juverajin sends it over, and two touch, not 4 touches. 2 touch by the Lords.
Yeah, Langley gonna get called for that there, John, as he was running to try and make a play on it. Didn't seem like a double touch from up here, but that's why we're not paid the big bucks to be a OCAA certified referee, apparently.
Unlike our boy Eric, who actually is going or trying to get his OCAA certification, but it's a long road ahead as he'll be reffing high school games for a while.
We're not talking about Eric. He's bailing on us today. He's not here supporting. He's not here with the crew. So Eric Dixon, where are you, buddy? Everybody else is here. All the regulars on the game day staff seem to be here. And I believe we will see Eric tomorrow and everybody else when the Durham Lords women's basketball
Great
team.
Service there by Jansen. And Eric, who is here, Eric Jansen, as he sends it just in front of the touchline there. It's an 8-point lead for the Lords, 5 points away from a much-needed victory. And like you've been saying all night, to get them to 500 or over 500 for the first time this year. Another point there for the Lords as an error by an unforced error by the Sting. Just an interesting, or sorry, just a devastating error there for them as they look for any way to climb back in this one, and it's looking less and less likely as Jansen looking to collect another point on his serve.
Now really taking advantage here are the Lords, and Jansen just unrelenting, who's really found his service game once again.
The Lords send it over, but send it wide as the Sting do collect a point in this one and get Juverajin back on the service line. And if anybody can climb them back in this one, I would say it's him, but he's got quite the climb ahead of him. Juverajin with the serve, but it's long as another unforced error comes back to bite Sarnia Sting in the butt there, Joey, and it's looking like this one, you can sew it up. It's going to be a Lord's victory. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that. We're going to claim this one and go over 500 for the first time this year. I don't know about you.
No, it's tough to argue with you there, Johnny. It's funny looking at these players and just how important confidence is and what it does to body language and confidence, and how much better you look and feel when you're playing well. Right now, Durham's bouncing around. They feel good. They're 3 points away from the victory. Seneca, all the swagger that they had after that third set has really slipped away here as they're not moving the same way. Their body language isn't the same. They seem a little dejected, deflated even. And for the Lords, they really just need to step on the pedal here and find a way to come away with these next 3 points and come away with the victory, because they have the Sting right where they want them.
Great job there by the Lords not touching that ball as the Sting send it wide. We're 2 points away from the end of this one, Joey. A 4-set victory looking like for the Durham Lords. And Tyler Krabby with the serve. Let's see what he can do. Krabby with the light serve, and it deflects off of Jordan Granum. A great serve there by Krabby, and it is set and match point here for the Lords. Let's see if they can end it. Oh, as the Sting do collect a point here. Now, it can end on an unforced error here, Joey, so it's not all said and done for the Lords or the Sting, but they've got one of their best servers here. I don't think he's going to be sending it long.
No, 1 point away here are the Lords. And you don't mind being against serve sometimes when you have a chance to win.
And Wood with the game ender. Everyone expecting a big smash. He whips on it, gets it with the fingertips, and puts it into no man's land. The Lords seal this one up. It's a 25-16 victory for your Durham Lords with a 4-set victory. They do go over 500 for the first time. Great to see.
Yeah, Johnny. And after a third set where they allowed Seneca to get back into this game, they find a way to come out with a big effort in the fourth and come away with a 3-1 victory here at home. And we talked about all game long, over 500 for the first time all season. That's a good start, and that's where you want to be. That's
a great start. Myself and Joey will be back here tomorrow calling the OCAA women's basketball. You should join us. Make sure to tune in. We'll see you then. Thanks for listening, guys.